Hi, I'm Lee Ann Kahlor, an associate professor in the School of Advertising and Public Relations, and I teach psychology of advertising and advertising research. So about the time when COVID first hit, we all pivoted to online teaching, and we did so with a tremendous amount of stress with all of us. Then spring break hit, and around that time, I decided to get some chickens. And one day I brought the baby chicks to online lecture, and the students were just so excited to have that levity in class. At the beginning of this semester, students were still asking me about the chicks, by the way. It had been a year. And they were like, what about the chicks? You had chicks that one time in your class that I had you that one semester. And so I started thinking about, that was a lot of fun and it was a lot of levity, and I want to do something fun again. I want to have fun again. And so I think it was the first day of class this semester in my advertising research class, I dressed up with a theme, and the students loved it. And so then I started doing it every class time.
Today I'm country girl. This is my teaching team.
This was one of the themes from this semester. It was just a snowy day. And do you guys hear something? I think I hear something. What? What's that? This was one of my shticks from one of the classes. So there was somebody behind me the whole time in the Zoom background. So then in the chat, the students will, because I teach large lecture classes. And so in the chat, the students will put comments and stuff, because this particular class is 200 and something students. And when I did that one, the students were like, oh, that legit scared me. So, we have fun with it. And sometimes I'll stay in character, like this one, I'll stay in character the whole lecture. And but that sometimes I'll use like a filter or something, and I'll only be in character in the beginning because it would be distracting to stay in character the whole time.
It would be fun to sing sea shanties, but alas, we do have some learning we need to do.
I come up with lots of ideas like at nighttime when I'm scrolling on my phone, or like in my free time. I just sort of think of or I look around the house. I collect vintage hats, so sometimes I'll just grab one of those.
Wait, can you see my fabulous hat?
I like to play around with filters.
Oh, I'm not a cat. I assure you, I'm here. I am not a cat.
That Tuesday, I broke out the cat filter, and they just loved it. They thought it was hysterical. And I was only a cat for like a few minutes because obviously, I couldn't deliver an entire hour and 15-minute lecture as a cat. Highly, disruptive. But that people were super into that. A couple students have both me and my husband, Professor Junker, as professors right now, and they were like, you should lecture as Junker. And I was like, okay, so I thought about how I would do that, and it all sounded kind of complicated because for one thing, he's bald, and I'm like, how am I going to lecture as a bald guy? So then I was like, oh, I could wear a cap. And then I was like, oh, I could just borrow some of his clothes, and but none of it sounded all that exciting. And then I was like, it was a weekend and I hadn't come up with what I was going to be that Tuesday. And so then Tuesday morning was rolling around, and I had set aside a costume, but I wasn't feeling it. It was unrelated to Dave. I don't know. I was going to be a pixie or something. I don't remember. And then I was like, oh my God, I have an idea. Junks, do you have 10 minutes? And he's like, yeah, why? So he comes upstairs, and because I work upstairs and he works downstairs, and I said, just stand in front of the Zoom camera, and I'm just going to stand behind you and just move your lips. And it's going to be my voice, but just your face, just bear with me and do this. And so he stood there and he just went like, while I was talking, and it was nothing fancy, but they loved it, especially because some of the students have him. And so for a minute they were like, wait, am I in the wrong class? And so it was a good joke, especially for those students who have both of us. I was just so giddy this morning, thinking like, I get to see my friends, because you're it, like you're my social life. You know, it just gives us something to feel joy about, something to laugh about when there's so many things right now to not laugh about, right? A lot of our students are really having a hard time, whether it's that their families are struggling with unemployment or loss, and just feeling isolated and missing out on some of the most important things that one experiences with it when they're in college. And so anything that we can do to just bring joy and to laugh and to have fun while we're experiencing education is really one of the more important things that we can do.